Hey everyone! Before we start, I just want to talk about Diana's items and runes. And the first item that I will get on her would be Rod of Ages. Ro is a really good item on Diana because as an AP bruiser, she would benefit a lot from the HP as well as AP that it gives, giving her more damage as well as making her more tankier overall. Then the second item that I would want to get is Rabadon's Death Cap. Rabadon's is a huge power spike on Diana because once you're able to complete this item, you would be able to burst squishy targets in one combo. After this would be the Steel-Plated Stone Plate, which allows her to have an additional shield. In combination with her second skill, Diana would be even more tankier when it comes to the team fights. An alternative for the Stone Plate would be the Stasis Enchant, and this is only better if you would want to avoid damage rather than receiving it for your team. Fourth item would be the Crystalline Reflector. Diana's kit synergizes well with this item because in combination with her second skill, this would allow her to become even more tankier and more sustainable in team fights. Last two items is a flex depending on what the NAP team has in their composition. If they have a lot of MR, you could go for the Void Staff. If they have a lot of AP, you could go for the Banshee's Veil. If you would want more damage, you could go for the Lich Bane or even Infinity Orb. If you want more split pushing potential, you could go for the Nashor's Tooth. So it's up to you on what combination that you would want to get on your last two items. Going to the runes, the first rune that I would get on Diana would be Conquer. Conquer is your bread and butter rune if you're a bruiser because this makes you more sustainable and have more damage as the team fight goes on. Then the second rune that I would go for is Hunter Vampirism. Since she is a bruiser, she would benefit a lot from the lifesteal as well as the additional AP that it gives once you're able to stack this rune. Then the third rune would be Hunter Titan, another great rune on Diana because this allows crowd control to not last as long, and since we're running Steel-Plated Stone Plate, Hunter Titan is a good alternative to counter the crowd control the opponent has. If they don't have a lot of crowd control, another alternative would be Ultimate Shield. This would allow you to have even more shields when it comes to the team fights. Last rune that I would get on Diana would be Hunter Genius. This makes her cooldowns a lot lower, making her skills more spammable. Another alternative would be the Pathfinder, and this would allow her roams and clears to become a bit faster as well. But either is okay. And that is it for Diana's items and runes, and I will see you guys in game. Going into the game, we're going to be showcasing Lunar Goddess Diana, which is her latest skin, as well as how she could be used in the jungle efficiently. In this matchup, we're currently up against Camille, and in a Camille vs Diana matchup, this is pretty much even with both junglers wanting to scale into the late game. The only difference is that Camille specializes on split pushing and catching off targets, and Diana specializes on team fights. So what we want to do is be able to scale up and try to force those team fights where we will have the advantage. The clear that I'm doing right now is the red side clear where I go for my Krugs, Red, Raptor, then Flex, depending on what would happen around the map. The reason why I go for the Krugs first rather than the red buff first is because Krug start is very safe and protects you from potential invades. So this is good for passive junglers such as Diana, Master Yi, and even Shyvana. Red start is a much better start for junglers that like to gank, such as Lee Sin, Xin Zhao, and even Jarvan because this allows you for possible level 2 ganks. So when clearing with Diana, there's one tip that I will want to give you when clearing the jungle, and it's to use your passive efficiently. In order to use your passive efficiently, you'd always want to auto-attack twice before using a skill. So for example, here I use my first skill, auto-auto, then use my third skill, auto-auto. So once you have your second skill, what you want to do is to first skill, auto-auto, third skill, auto-auto, second skill, auto-auto, and this way, your clears will be a lot faster and a lot more efficient. Then the reason why I chose to level up the shield last rather than getting it to level 1 is because leveling up your first plus third is the most efficient way or fastest way to clear your jungle. And Diana's sustain is really good. As you can see, my HP is still full. So after clearing the Raptors, I hit the Scrying Orb. I check if the blue is still up. And as soon as I see the blue is still up, I go for the Scuttler because I know that their Camille is at the top side. And while clearing the Scuttler, I'm looking at the bot side for any possible ganks since Renekton is a bit overextended. So I use the smite, I take the Scud, and then I immediately ping bot. Darius goes for the engage. I use my first skill, third skill, second skill, and as soon as Renekton flashes, I follow up with my third skill, and we're able to get the first blood. Another tip when ganking, after using your first plus third skill, you would always want to wait for your opponent to flash or dash before using your third skill again. This way, you're able to chase down your opponent without using your own flash. Then after I recall, I go back to my top side and start to clear the wolves. While clearing the wolves, I noticed that Samira and Alistar came from my blue buff, and as soon as I check their Camille, I see that she has blue, and this signals that they have already stolen my blue buff. So what happened is that I traded first blood for my own blue, and I take that any time of the day because I'm not that reliant on blue buff since I use my auto attacks to clear the camps. What happens now is that I clear the grump, and since I'm level 5 and there's no more camps in the map, I check for any possible lanes to gank. I see that Galio is a bit extended, so I try to visit him for any possible ganks. And I see that Galio has no more mana. I open up with my first skill, I miss. I use my second skill, I chase him down a bit. I use my ultimate, it hits the Galio. And as soon as he flashes, that's when I use my third skill and we're able to chase him down. So the reason why we are able to take down the Galio and why Galio is super squishy is because he's not able to proc his Aftershock since he has no more mana to cast any skill. So going back to my own jungle, I go back to the Krugs. I use the first skill auto attack, abuse my passive in clearing the camps, and look for any possible ganks. While my ultimate is on cooldown, what I want to do is to try to focus farming, and looking at the timer, my red buff is not yet up, so I go for the Raptors first, and as you could see on the left side, my row is already ready, but I haven't gone back to buy it. So the reason why I haven't bought my row yet is that what I'm planning right now is to clear my bot side before going back. That way, this will be on time with the top camp spawning as well as dragon spawning, making me well prepped for the objective. While clearing the red buff, you always want to check what happens on the map. Darius was able to take down Galio again. Because Galio had no flash, they're able to get another easy gank there. So after recalling, I buy my Roa, and lo and behold, my top camp spawn, and dragon is spawning in 1 minute, which is perfect timing for me. This would allow me to be prepared and ready to contest dragons. I see that Camille flashes in, tries to take down the Veigar. Veigar was able to eat the fruits, and I know that Camille has no flash, which is very advantageous since dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. I try to chase down Camille since she's a bit low. As soon as she hits the plant, I decided to go back. Try to poke the Galio a bit. I missed my first kill again, so I decide against all-inning because I want to save my spells or even ulti for the dragon buff. So Scuttler's at the top side as well, which is good for me. Camille, I see her clearing the top Krugs, which means she hasn't went back to her base, and she's quite low. Unfortunately, Vayne wants to go home, but I try to tell my team, try to force the dragon because I know that their jungler hasn't gone back yet. Our Karma hasn't gone back yet, and I buy time for my team to arrive. I bait the opponent a bit. Veigar does a great cage. Alistar goes for the engage. Galio is there as well. I try to position properly, try to hit a lot when using my ultimate, but Alistar cancels me with his stun, and we get punished for it since Samira was able to stack properly. It's a 3-for-3 so far. Vayne and Veigar are kiting well. We're able to take down the Camille, dodges the Galio third skill, and overall, I think that was an ace for us. 5-for-3 overall. I tell my team to start the dragon because I'm already arriving. Since I was the first one who went down, I'm the first one to go up as well, and most likely, we will be able to take down the dragon before the Camille arrives. This is good for us because looking at our composition, we're playing a late game composition. We have Veigar, Vayne, and Diana. So what we want to do is to try to play the game as slow as possible and to stall until we're able to get our items. Herald is up, and I'm not that confident that we would be able to contest it since we're an early game composition. Vayne falls down as well, so what I do here is I go top side instead. So Darius gets ganked by the opponents. I have an idea that will happen, so I'm trying to look for a trade. Samira is overextended. She thinks that there's no one here. So we go for the punish, open up with the first skill, third skill, auto attack, then with our ulti again, which allows us to have our third skill up again. And in case she has flash or any escape skill, we have a lot of skills to be able to chase her down. So Diana is really good on isolated situations and really strong when against squishy targets because her combo deals a lot of damage. Her tower pushing is also good because of her passive. Her passive works on towers, and as soon as I see them take the Herald and they're pushing bot as well, I proxy the wave, try to take the tower as well, take the Krugs while waiting for the wave, and when I see Alistar, I decide to go back. Karma decides to overextend, so it's a bit scary. Samira is up as well. I try to poke them a bit, but overall, I had to go back because Galio ultied. Vayne decides to play aggressive. It's a 3v2, not good for us. I try to ping Vayne to go back. I poke them a bit. Try to outplay. Use my third skill to get away. And overall, not the best trade. The opponents were able to get bot tower. But all in all, the creeps are able to take down top tower. So we're able to close the gold gap. So after clearing the blue buff, I decide to go home, buy my item. Look to go for the Rabadon's death cap. I think it's at 3k, so 3k. I'll be able to complete it. I decide to AFK. Once it's completed, this is a huge power spike for us because this allows us to easily one-shot those squishy carries. While waiting for any possible ganks, I decide to clear my jungle again because all of my camps are up. I see that Veigar is being chased down by the Camille. Their Camille is able to get another kill. But I can't get a counter kill because I don't know where anyone is. So I decide to just clear my camps. I see that Renekton is overextended bot. And that is why I head there. It's warded on the Krugs. So I go around and try to attack Renekton's blind spot. As soon as he goes back, I go for the engage. I miss my ultimate because Darius pulled the Renekton. That's why my timing was off. Vayne was able to chase Renekton down. We get the kill. And we get a lot of gold out of it. Even though they're able to get a lot of towers, we're able to get some kills in return. Another fight happens. Darius plays a bit greedy, going up against 3 members. So what I want to do is to try to clear the wave before going back. I poke them a bit, tell them to force them to go back. I check for the scuttler. But I know it's already been taken by them since they were coming from there. I recall by my steel caps since they're AD heavy and this would be great against their comp. Galio's their only AP and most likely he wouldn't target me. Their Galio would target our carries. So knowing that Renekton placed a ward there earlier, I placed a control ward for any possible dewards. And what I want to do is try to take down their bot tower. That is why I positioned myself at the bot side. If Renekton overextends, me and Darius would be able to punish the Renek. But I think Renekton sees me. Yep, I go out of the bush. I try to take down the tower, but Camille is there, so I had to go back. I poke them a bit. I used my first skill, third skill, Galio ultimate, so I had to go back. It's currently at 2v3, which is not good. I poke them a bit again. Galio gets a taunt. Karma is there with a response. Veigar as well with a great ultimate. Then I chase them down with my first skill. Karma shields. I have my MS. We take down the Camille as well. Galio is very low, so what I do here is I tank the tower. Wait for Vayne to take down the Galio, and we get a 3-4 non-exchange, which is very good for us. So what you want to play, what you want to do when playing Diana is to try to play What you want to do when playing Diana is to poke while soaking as much damage as possible until your teammates are able to clean up. As seen in the last fight, I was able to buy time, and as soon as my teammates are able to arrive, we are able to punish them as well. Darius gets caught in the mid side, Samira takes him down, which is not good, and Rift Herald is up. So what I do here is I set up for Dragon instead, and Vayne is not yet in position. So I look at the side, try to look for possible movement. Samira's in the mid lane by herself, and as soon as my first skill hits, I go for the engage. First skill, third skill ulti, then third skill again. As soon as she flashes, Alistar combos me in the tower, and since I have my stone plate, I have a lot of shields in my arsenal, and we're able to get away safely as well. Dragon is up, and this means, and without their ADC, this means that we would be able to secure this safely. Vayne is chasing down the Camille, gets a good condemn, and I try to go for the follow-up. I miss my first skill, but my third skill hits. Veigar uses his ultimate as well, and we take down their jungler. We lose Herald, but we're able to take down the second dragon, which is really good because even if we're late game composition, we would scale even harder with dragons. And we deny dragons from them. Darius is chasing down the Galio. I follow up with my third skill. Gets the reset. Samira's caught as well. I use my ultimate. We take down their Samira again. Alistar flashes out. I play it safe a bit. And as soon as they go in, I try to poke them with my first skill. My third skill is off, still on cooldown. I wait for my cooldowns again. I have a lot of tankies in my kit. And we immediately go and take down both of their tanks. So a great sequence of events. given us a lot of objectives. We're able to get kills as well. And I think we get the tower here. No, I decide to go back, play it a bit safe because there's no more creeps. And we don't have to play fast since we're a scaling composition. So I clear my camps before going back, buy my reflector, become even more tanky and more scary for the opposing team. At this point, we're very comfortable with our lead. All of our carries are getting gold, and since they're playing an early game composition with Renekton, this is good for us. So the only thing that the opponents are able to get is the Rift Herald, which is a non-factor because there's no more platings and Herald is not that effective if there are no more platings. What happens now is that I want to set up for a possible Baron fight or try to catch people off guard. I see that Vayne is chasing down the Renekton. Veigar is able to get a cage into the Alistar. So what happens is that I try to help the Vayne. He's able to solo the Renekton, which is good. And then I look at the map. I see that there's another clash mid side. I go and help my team. Darius is able to get a good catch onto the Samira. I try to follow up. Galio flashes away. So I go for the Alistar instead. I still have my first plus third skill. Darius is able to take the Galio, and we get another clean team fight. Camille is splitting the top side, but it's okay. Darius and Karma is there to protect the towers, so we just go for the Baron instead. So another tip when playing Diana is that you don't need to wait for your first skill to hit. If you're confident that your first skill will hit, what you could do is use your first skill, then third skill immediately before the animation hits. That way, if your first skill hits, your third skill will still refresh even though the animation hasn't shown it hitting yet. Camille tries to go for the steal and I immediately turn to the Camille. We take her down before taking down the Baron, which is a good call because if I tried to force the Baron, it most likely would be a 50-50 and it's a game that I wouldn't want to throw. So we take the Baron, they respond. Our teammates are very confident. Darius gets another hook onto their carries. We take down the Samira. We try to chase them down. I get taunted. Alistar is at the side. I have my stone plate to survive the tower. I hit the Galio with my first skill. Follow up with my third skill. But my third skill is on cooldown. So what happens is that I use my first skill plus flash. I had a lot of damage, so I didn't even notice that Galio would die just by my first skill. So Renekton tries to defend the tower. First skill plus third skill. Look at my damage on the Renekton. From full HP to half HP. And this is the strength once Diana is able to reach the late game. Diana is very, very strong once she is able to reach 2 to 3 items and would even be stronger once with even more items. So we have Baron buff, so what I want to do is try to push their towers, and this is the point where we would be able to outskill the opponents. So I go back again, buy my Void Staff, since they have a bit of MR. Now we have a lot of damage and we're very scary into this game. So what's happening right now is we're just pushing the lanes, looking for some lane priority. I see that Veigar is able to take down the Samira 1v3. My teammate tries to help, and I see Camille and Darius pushing bot. So what I do is I try to defend the tower to prevent any possible backdoors. Camille opens up to me. I have my stone plate plus second skill, ulti as well, dealing a lot of damage. I'm very low. Renekton goes away from the tower. We take down the Camille. I have a lot of shields, and this is the power of late game Diana. Not only are we very tanky, we also have a lot of damage. That way, we ace the opponents, we take down their Nexus, and this is a GG for us. So really good games. We played well, mostly, and we're able to do our part. We take the victory, perform better than 97.8, which is good. We get MVP. My teammates played really good as well. 12-1-11 scoreline, most damage dealt as well as most damage taken, which is really good, and I hope you guys enjoyed our Diana gameplay. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.